So, Richard, why Rishi now?
Two really clear answers to that, actually. Firstly, we need a competent government in place as quickly as possible. Rishi was Chancellor through some really tough times. He sorted out stuff during the pandemic, furlough scheme, support for small businesses, and then during the energy crisis, got some of that early support into people. Secondly, economic credibility. What we need more than anything else at the moment is a credible economic plan for the future. Rishi's got the background in that, he can deliver it. And at the moment, you know, the UK is paying more than it needs to, due to all this instability on our international debt. That's around over £2 trillion. That means for every 1% extra we have to pay a year, that's over £20 billion. And for your viewers, that means basically 4% on a basic rate of income tax is just going on that extra due to the issues we're facing at the moment. I want to see somebody economically credible, bringing that rate down so it's as low as it can be, keeping interest rates as low as possible. Because if we can get that rate on our debt down, that means we've got more money for tax cuts for working people and to invest in public services in constituencies like mine.
Some people would say, Richard, that, well, hold on a minute, Rishi was the Chancellor when we built up these huge debts during COVID and were printing money and borrowing money that's led to this high inflation, that he can't sort of say that he wasn't responsible when he was the Chancellor for much of that time. And people will say, well, because of the role that he's seen to have played in the downfall of Boris Johnson, he won't be in a position to unite the Conservative Party. What do you say to those 2 points?
Yeah, I'll take those two head on. First of all, look, we all know the inflation that we started to see across the world was rising interest rates were as a result of rising energy prices, rising food prices due to Russia's illegal invasion of Ukraine. Unfortunately, we then pursued some policies over the last few weeks which seem to make that worse. We need to get those out of the way and go back to a stable system so that we don't have to pay that premium on debt interest that we otherwise would need to. So that's how you deal with that. And I think during Rishi's time as Chancellor, actually you saw interest rates at the record low, but crucially the difference between the UK and the US, we were basically bang on. Now we're paying a premium over the US on that, so that's how we can tackle that element. And secondly, around Boris, look, I campaigned for Boris to be leader in 2019. I was a member of his campaign team. I was elected in 2019 when he was Prime Minister. But the truth is that a huge number of parliamentary colleagues resigned. I didn't resign from government, but a lot of them did. I think it's a lot of issues there, a lot of history, and I think now we need to look to the future, look forwards with a credible economic plan and a competent government, and I think Rishi is the best man to deliver that for the country at the moment.
Rishi, and he said that. Richard, you and